Though thou be little among the thousands of Judah,
Right.
yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Israel. Now, book, chapter, verse where Hezekiah was born in Bethlehem.
And so it never says that he was born in Bethlehem, as I showed you guys already in the previous video, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys again, okay? Quick.
Yahweh's name is to be sing unto Yah, no song from the rising of the sun and going down of the same. Yahweh's name is to
sing unto Yahweh a new song. Sing unto Yahweh, let all the earth call. Bless his name and show forth his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory amongst the.
Shalom, Israel. In today's video, we are going to go over Micah 5 and 2. We're going to talk a little bit about Micah 5 and 2. We're going to do a deep dive. But before, I would like for you to subscribe and check out our playlist and our videos on our channel, as well as our shorts. We're going to a deep dive into things, and a lot of you guys are not watching the whole entire videos. I don't know if it's because you don't understand, and if that's the case, let me know in the comments, or if it's just because you don't agree with it. And even if you don't agree with it, still let me know in the comments what you don't agree with and why, etc. But subscribe to the channel, check out our videos. We'll be having more videos uploaded. We have a bunch of shorts uploaded as well that dives into the language. And then again, we have our playlist and textual criticisms, the shorts, the Shabbat teachings, and destroying Christ in the Old Testaments, false doctrines, our lessons, and our book readings. Okay, we read out different books. All right, so subscribe to the channel, make sure you share, and let's start correcting some of these erroneous doctrines that are in Israel. Okay, all right, so let's go into Micah 5 and 2. Micah 5, should I say. If you made it this far, you've already seen the video where I had pulled up on Priest Genesis and Hassad, and we discussed Micah 5 and 2, and they didn't know they were getting their butts kicked. But as you can see, I proved and showed how I kicked their butts on that. It never said that the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. It just simply mentions the region, the tribe that of the lineage of David, okay, that King Hezekiah came from, and it was talking about King Hezekiah. Okay, now we are going to.
Though thou be little among the thousands of Judah,
Right.
yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Israel. Now, book, chapter, verse where Hezekiah was born in Bethlehem.
And so it never says that he was born in Bethlehem, as I showed you guys already in the previous video, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys again, okay? Quick look at, let's see here. What king lived, let's see, Micah, prophet, Micah, time period. So this is the context of everything. The Assyrians were coming. So this is Micah lived from 740 to 68 BC. Okay. Now let's see what happened during the prophet Micah time. Says the northern kingdom of Israel, Samaria, and the southern kingdom of Judah faced moral political decline. Okay. So he predicted the destruction of both Samaria and Jerusalem from their respective sins. Right. So he lived prior to Hezekiah. Right. Prophet Micah lived 740, 698 BC. Let's see King Hezekiah. Seven 687. 687. 687. Here's a more detailed breakdown of Micah the prophet. So these kings is when he prophesied on. Micah's prophetic ministry began before the fall of Samaria to the Assyrians in 722 BC and continued into the reign of Hezekiah. So these three kings is when Micah prophesied, right? Toward the end of his life, Hezekiah, toward the prime of his life, Ahaz, and the beginning of his propheticship, King Jotham. Okay? So that is the context of the prophecies that Micah is talking about. Okay? And Micah is prophesying. All right, so let's go to Micah 5:1. Okay. Let's see here. Right? It says, now gather yourself, O troops, O daughters of troops. He hath laid siege against us. They shall smite the judge of Israel with the rod upon the cheek. I've already proved in the video of the intro that this verse right here belongs in chapter 14, and chapter 5 actually starts right here. Okay? So when you're reading this right here, you need to attach this to chapter 14 and put it in its context of chapter 14. Micah 5:2. But Bethlehem Ephrathah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Israel, whose going forth have been from old, from everlasting. So it even tells you right here, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, right? What does that mean? That means different clans, okay? Different clans. So it's telling you right there inside of the verse that it is different clans within Judah. And that's what we're going to look at and prove that this right here, Bethlehem Ephrath, was a clan, okay? And a region. And to start off doing that, we're going to go to Ruth chapter 4, and we're going to look at verse 11. And all the people that were in the gate and the elders said, we are witnesses. The Lord make the woman that is come into thine house like Rachel and like Leah, which too did build the house of Israel, and do thou worthily in Ephrathah, and be famous in Bethlehem. So right there, we already started out with that it is two places, right? And we do things by Deuteronomy 19 and 15, prove all things with 2 or 3 witnesses to establish a matter, okay? Per the Torah law, the law that Moshe established from he that causes to exist. Okay, so right here is telling you, do thou worthily in Ephrathah, comma, pause, and be famous in Bethlehem. Right? Now, really could stop right there, but we, like I said, 2 or 3 witnesses. But I have a whole plethora of witnesses, okay? So we're going to go to Psalms 132 and verse 6. Lo, we've heard of it at Ephrathah. We found it in the woods. So there it is again, Ephrathah as a region. A woody region, right? A region full of woods. Then we're going to go back to Genesis 35 and chapter 35, verse 19. Here's another witness. And Rachel died and was buried in the way to Ephrath, which is Bethlehem, right? So it's telling you that it's a region right here. This right here is how you know that it is a region, right? So that's 3 witnesses showing that it's a region, okay? Now we're going to prove that it was a tribe, and that each tribe of Israel was broken down into clans, okay? For that, we're going to go to Numbers chapter 26, and we're going to read verses 20 through 21. And the sons of Judah after their families were Shelah, the family of the Shelonites of Perez, the family of the Perizzites, and Jerah, and Serah, the family of the Zarhites. Right there, it just shows you 3 sons of Judah broken down into 3 different clans. Okay? Verse 21. And the sons of Pharez were Hezron, the family of the Hezronite, of Hamul, the family of the Hulmites. Now there it goes, breaking down the sons of Pharez into even more small minor clans. These are the families of Judah according to those that were numbered of them, 16,500. Okay. Now we're going to go to the book of Judges. We're going to go to chapter 6. And we're going to read verses 14 through 16. Okay. And the Lord looked upon him and said, go this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have not I sent thee? And he said unto him, O my Lord, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh. I am the least in my father's house. And the Lord said unto him, surely I will be with thee. Thou shalt smite the Midianites as one man. Hold on, I might have slid that one in a little bit differently. Yeah, I might have slid that one in. But we're going to go back to Ruth. I think that one might have been an error. So Ruth chapter 1, verse 2. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of the wife was Naomi, and the name of the two sons was Mahlon and Chilion, Ephraimites of Bethlehem, Judah. And they came to the country of Moab and continued there. Right? So what does it say? They were Ephraimites, tribe, clan, region of the region Bethlehem, Judah, the city of Bethlehem, Judah. Okay? Now, all right, back to Judges. I think it was the weakest 14. I think it was pointing out the fact that he says right here it doesn't say my family, it says my tribe. My tribe is the poorest in the house of poorest in Manasseh. So right here in verse 15, it breaks it down and shows you that if you look in your KJV, it'll say my tribe is the poorest in Manasseh. Okay. Now we're going to go to 1 Samuel. And we're going to go to chapter 17, and we're going to read verse 12. Now David, the son of that Ephraimite of Bethlehem, Judah. Ephraimite the tribe, Bethlehem, Judah, the city, whose name was Jesse, and had 8 sons. And the man went among men for an old man in the days of Saul. Right? And we're going to go next. We're going to go to 1 Chronicles, chapter 2, and verse 9. The sons also of Hezron that were born unto him, Jerahmeel and Ram and Chilobai. Right? 2 Chronicles 9. This is going into David's lineage, right? The different clans. This is the clan of Perez. So the different clans, right? Because remember, back in Numbers, we said that it broke it down by the different clans. Perizzites, the Hamulites, the Zurites. Okay? 1 Chronicle chapter 4, verse 4. And Penuel, the father of Gedor, and Ezer, the father of Hushah, these are the sons of Hur, the firstborn of Ephrathah, the father of Bethlehem. Okay, so it was also people. It was also people. Bethlehem was the name of a person. Ephrathah was the name of a person as well. Let's see here. We got 2 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 24. My bad. 1 Chronicles chapter 2. 1 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 24. And he took Gesher and Aram with the towns of Jair from them, and Kenath, and the town thereof, and three score cities belonged to the sons of Micah, the father of Gilead. And after that, Hezron was dead in Calaprotath, with Abiah, Hezron's wife, bare him Asher, the son of Tekoa. right? So, Caleb Epitaph, right? Caleb Epitaph. Caleb Epitaph. Caleb from the Epitaph tribe, right? It's a people. It's a tribe. It's a region. It's not saying that he will be born there. It's mentioning his tribe in Micah 5 and 2. Let's go to Zechariah. Chapter 12, verse 6. In that day will I make the governors of Judah like the hearth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in the sheath. And they shall devour all the people round about, and on the right hand, on the left hand, and Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her place, even Jerusalem. And I shall save the tents of Judah first, right? That's all the tribes, all the clans that come from Judah, the Perizzites, the Zurites, the Hulamites, that's all of them, okay? Now that we prove that it was a tribe, a region, a clan, now let's go and see what Micah 5 and 2, the rest of Micah, the 5th chapter.
Though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Israel. Now, book, chapter, verse where Hezekiah was born in Bethlehem.
And so it never says that he was born in Bethlehem, as I showed you guys already in the previous video, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys again, okay, quick, and show that it is talking about King Hezekiah, okay? Now, so we did Micah 5 and 2, prove that that is a clan and a tribe, right? So now let's go down, let's read the rest of Micah and chapter, and then we'll go and prove that it is King Hezekiah. Verse 3. Therefore will he give them up until the time that she which travaileth hath brought forth. Then the remnant of his brethren shall return unto the children of Israel. And he shall stand and feed in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God. And they shall abide, for now shall he be great unto the ends of the earth. And this man shall be the peace. Remember this verse right here, Micah 5 and 5. And this man shall be the peace when the Assyrian shall come into our land. When is he going to be the peace? When the Assyrian comes into the land. Is he going to be peace before the Assyrian comes to the land, or after the Assyrian comes to the land? No, it says when he comes into the land. Not after the Assyrian leaves, not before he gets there, but when he is in the land. So if this Micah 5 and 2 is talking about the Messiah is going to be is Christ, is a prophecy of Christ, those brothers and every New Testament believer who believes this prophecy is about Christ needs to prove the Assyrian coming into the land when Christ was alive, and then Christ being that peace. And this man shall be the peace when the Assyrian shall come into our land, and when he shall tread our palaces. Then shall we rise against him 7 shepherds and 8 principal men. And they shall waste the land of Assyria with the sword, and the land of Nimrod in the entrances thereof. Thus shall he deliver us from the Assyrian when he cometh into our land, and when he treadeth within our borders. So what is this person going to do? The prophecy is this person is going to deliver them out of the hand when the Assyrian comes into the land, and treadeth within our borders. So what is treadeth? Treadeth within our borders, right? That is when it comes down and tramples, knocks down fortifications, conquers cities, or pillage cities, etc., burn cities, etc. All these things happened during King Hezekiah's time, right after the Assyrian Sennacherib took over the northern kingdom. Okay, and we're going to get into it. Verse 7. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people as the dew from the Lord, as the showers upon the grass that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men. Now, Jacob is split up at this time into two, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. So when it says the remnant of Jacob, those in the northern kingdom got carried off as slaves. Those that also of the southern kingdom who were on the borders of the northern kingdom that Sennacherib was able to pillage through also got carried away as slaves. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. Thine hand shall be lifted up, thine adversaries, and all thy enemies shall be cut off. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that I will cut off thy horses out of the midst of thee, and I will destroy thy chariots, and I will cut off the cities of thy land, and throw down all thy holds, and I will cut off the witchcrafts of thy hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee, and thou shalt no more worship the work of thine hands. And I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee, so will I destroy thy cities. And I will execute vengeance in anger upon thy heathen, such as they have not heard. So in this context, the heathen is Assyria, and those that are aligned with Assyria, it was the Syrians and I forget who else was it. The two kings from the north that came down to attack King Ahaz. You can find that in chapter 7 of Isaiah. All right, so now we're going to go here for Micah 5:5. Remember, and this man shall be the peace when the Assyrians shall come in our land, and when he shall tread our palaces, then we shall raise against him 7 shepherds and 8 principal men. Now remember, Micah prophesied during King Hezekiah's grandfather's days, and his father's days, okay, and a little bit of King Hezekiah's reign. Now let's go to Isaiah chapter 14. Isaiah chapter 14, and we are going to read verse 25. And we can restart at verse 24. The Lord of hosts hath sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so it shall come to pass. And as I have purposed, so shall it stand. That I will break the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains tread him under foot. Then shall his yoke depart from off of them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders. This is the purpose that is purposed upon the whole earth, as this is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. For the Lord of hosts hath purpose, and who shall disannul it? And his hand is stretched out, and who shall take it back? Right? Now, did that happen? The Most High did punish the king of Assyria. He did break the Assyrian in his land, and he did do all that. Why? How do we know that? Because Jeremiah, the prophet Jeremiah, said in chapter 50, verse 18. And before we get there, I want to show you guys prophet Isaiah. Remember, 740 to 698, 740 to 698 BC was Micah. Prophet Isaiah was 740 to 681. So they were contemporaries. 740 to 681. He lived 17 years longer than Micah. And so he prophesied from the kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of the northern kingdom. So did Micah. They prophesied on both. Okay. So now, this is why I went to Isaiah, and Jeremiah lived after them. And to show you proof of that, we'll type in Jeremiah. Jeremiah lived in 627 to 587. So see, when Jeremiah is talking about, remember when Jeremiah is talking in Jeremiah 50 verses 18 through 20, he's talking in a past tense about the king of Assyria, because the king of Assyria's yoke had been broken 40, 50, maybe 60 some years earlier. I just proved that with the timeline. Jeremiah 50 verses 18 through 20. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land as I have punished the king of Assyria. That's past tense. The king of Assyria was already punished. So this cannot be Christ because Micah 5:5 says what? What does Micah 5:5 say? That when the Assyrians shall come into the land, that he was going to be the peace. But by the time that Jeremiah started prophesying, the Assyrians were already destroyed. So how can this be a prophecy of Christ, saying that the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem? It doesn't say that in Micah 5. But we're going to continue reading. I think I made my case, but we're going to continue because I want to hammer this home. We're going to finish. As I have punished the king of Assyria, verse 19, and I will bring Israel again to his habitation, and he shall feed on Carmel and Bashan, and his soul shall be satisfied upon Mount Ephraim and Gilead. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there shall be none, and the sins of Judah, and they shall not be found, for I will pardon them who I reserve. So the Most High was, through Jeremiah, was saying, through the mouth of Jeremiah, was telling Israel, the same way that I pardoned the sins of Israel when Sennacherib came into Syria and destroyed them and kicked them out of the land and saved you, is the same thing I'm going to do for y'all in Babylon, to the Babylonians. Okay? That's what he's saying. As I have punished, not I will, I have punished. Let's go back to Micah 5:5. And this man shall be the peace when the Assyrians shall come into our land, and when he shall tread in our palaces, then shall we raise against him 7 shepherds and 8 principal men. Micah died in 698. Before the fall of Israel, Israel fell in 722. And then Sennacherib's invasion of the southern kingdom, 701. King Hezekiah ruled from 715 to 696. So 14 years after Hezekiah sat on the throne, the Assyrians came into Judah and treaded down the palaces. Now they didn't take Jerusalem, but the outskirts and on the border of the southern kingdom and northern kingdom, the king had palaces where he was summer vacationing and this and that. They treaded those down. And they shall waste the land of Assyria with the sword. Right? So those 7 shepherds and 8 principal men that wasted the land of Assyria, you need to find out who destroyed the Assyrians. Okay? Was it the Babylonians? I think so. I think the Babylonians destroyed the Assyrians. Okay? I think it was Nebuchadnezzar, that did that. Okay? Now, let's go to 2nd Chronicles. Oh, no. Let's go to 2nd Kings, because I want to show you this right here, verse was fulfilled. Micah 5 and 6. Let's go to 2 Kings, chapter 18, verse 5 and verse 6. Right here. Right? Now, we're going to start, these are the verses we're going to focus on, 5 and 6, but we're going to start at 18 and 1. So just so you know who it's talking about. Now it came to pass in the 3rd year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz of Judah, began to reign. So it's Hezekiah that we're talking about. 25 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. So Zechariah the prophet's daughter was Hezekiah's mother. 25 and he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that David his father did. He removed the high places and brake the images, and cut down the groves, and brake in pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made. For unto those days the children of Israel did burn incense to it, and he called it Nehustan. He trusted in the Lord Elohim of Israel, he that caused it to exist, so that after him was none like him among all the kings of Judah, nor any that were before him. For he clave to the Lord and departed not from following him, but kept his commandments, which the Lord commanded Moshe. And the Lord was with him, and he prospered wheresoever he went. And he rebelled against the king of Assyria, and served him not. Okay, he rebelled against the king of Syria and served him not. So thenceforth, the Assyrians started coming into the land. So what does it say? Micah 5:5, 5:6. This man shall be the peace when the Assyrians shall come into our land, and we shall tread our palaces. That is the reason why the Assyrian came into the land, because Hezekiah rebelled against Sennacherib and the Assyrians. Now let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 30. We're going to read verses 40 through 45. Chapter 32, I'm sorry. 40 through 45. Maybe it's, hold on. Oh, 30 through, I'm sorry. Yeah, 32, 1. Yeah, chapter, we're right. No, hold on. I gotta find out because I mislabeled the verses. Let me see here. Let me see what he did. Because I may have my verses. I have it written down. Okay, yeah, so it is chapter 32. I don't know why I put 2 Chronicles chapter 32. Okay. So we're going to see Sennacherib's invasion of Judah. We're going to see the blasphemies that the Assyrians, Sennacherib, said and did. And then we're going to see how the Lord delivers Jerusalem and Hezekiah's pride. Just like Micah chapter 5 says, and this man shall be the peace, and they shall waste the land of Assyria with the sword, and he shall stand in the strength of the Lord, and in the majesty in the name of the Lord his God, and they shall abide, for now shall he be great unto the ends of the earth. Now remember what he said, there shall be no other king, there was no other king like him, and there was no other king before him. Right? He trusted in the Lord God of Israel. 2 Kings chapter 18, 5 and 6. He trusted in the Lord God of Israel, so that after him there was none like him among all the kings of Judah, nor there were any before him. Verse 6. For he clave unto the Lord, and departed not from following him, but kept his commandments which the Lord commanded Moses. And Micah 5 and 4. And he shall stand and feed in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God, and they shall abide for now, for he shall be great unto the ends of the earth. Verse 5. And that man, the man in verse 4, shall be the peace when the Assyrians shall come into the land. Okay, now let's go back to 2 Chronicles chapter 32. We're going to start verse 1. We're just going to read the whole entire chapter. And these things and the accomplishments thereof, and after these things and the accomplishment thereof, Sennacherib, king of Assyria, came and entered into Judah, and encamped against the fenced cities, and thought to win them for himself. So what did he do? He encamps against the fenced cities. Right? This man shall be the peace when the Assyrians shall come and trodden down the palaces. And when Hezekiah saw that Sennacherib has come, that he was purposed to fight against Jerusalem, he took counsel with his princes and his mighty men to stop the waters of the fountains which about the city, and that did help him. So there was gathered much people together, who stopped all the fountains, and the brook that ran through the midst of the land, saying, why should the kings of Assyria come and find much water? Also, he strengthened himself and built up the wall that was broken, and raised it up to the towers, and another wall without, and repaired Milo in the city of David, and made darts and shields in abundance. And he set captains of war over the people, and gathered them together to him in the street of the gate of the city, and spake comfortably to them, saying, be strong and courageous, be not afraid nor dismayed for the king of Assyria, nor for all the multitude that is with him, for there be more with us than with him. With him is an arm of flesh, but with us is the Lord our Elohim to help us, and to fight our battles. And the people rested themselves upon the words of Hezekiah, king of Yehudah. All right, so let's look at Sennacherib's blasphemies. After this did Sennacherib, king of Assyria, send his servants to Jerusalem, but he himself laid siege against Lachish, and all his power with him, unto Hezekiah king of Judah, and unto all of Judah that were in Jerusalem, saying, Thus saith Sennacherib king of Assyria, Whereon do you trust, that ye abide in the siege of Jerusalem? Doth not Hezekiah persuade you to give over yourselves to die by famine and by thirst, saying, The Lord our God shall deliver us out of the hand of the king of Assyria? Thus saith Sennacherib king of Assyria, Whereon do you trust that ye abide in the siege of Jerusalem? Doth not Hezekiah persuade you to give over yourselves to die by famine and by thirst, saying, The Lord our God shall deliver us out of the hand of the king of Assyria? Hath not the same Hezekiah taken away his high places and his altars, and commanded Judah and Jerusalem, saying, You shall worship before one altar, and burn incense upon it? Know ye not what I and my fathers have done unto all the people of other lands? Were the gods of the nations of those lands anyways able to deliver their lands out of mine hand? Who was there among all the gods of the nations that my fathers utterly destroyed, that could deliver his people out of my hand, that your God should be able to deliver you out of my hand? So he's talking big crash about the Most High and everything. Now therefore let not Hezekiah deceive you, nor persuade you on this matter, neither yet believe him. For no God of any nation or kingdom was able to deliver his people out of my hand and out of the hand of my fathers. How much less shall your God deliver you out of my hand? And his servant spake yet more against the Most High Elohim and against his servant Hezekiah. Right? And against his servant Hezekiah. He wrote also letters to rail on the Lord Elohim of Israel. So he wrote letters talking noise about the Most High, he that causes to resist, and to speak against him, saying, As the gods of the nations of other lands have not delivered their people out of my hand, so shall not the God of the Elohim of Hezekiah deliver his people out of my hand. Then they cry with a loud voice, and the Jews speak in Hebrew unto the people of Jerusalem that were on the wall, to affright them and to trouble them, that they might take the city. And they spake against the Elohim of Harushalim, as against the gods of the people of the earth, which were the work of the hands of the man. So they were talking as if how Abraham talked to Terah about worshiping these false gods and these idols and stuff. That's how they were talking about the Most High and about the inhabitants of Jerusalem. So now, what did Micah 5:5 and 6 say? The Most High was going to deliver them, right? When the Assyrian was tried in this land, the Most High said, Isaiah 14:25, what did he say? I will break Assyria in my land. I will trample him on my mountain. Matter of fact, let's get it. Isaiah 14, verse 25. Remember, Isaiah was contemporary to Micah, lived in the same time, and also contemporary to King Hezekiah. Isaiah 24:5 and 26. The Lord of hosts has sworn, saying, Surely as I have thought, so it shall come to pass. And as I have purposed, so shall it stand, that I will break the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains trample him underfoot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his brethren depart from off of their shoulders. This is the purpose that I have purposed upon the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. For the Lord hath purposed it, who shall disannul it? And his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back? So, like the Most High said, this is what he purposed. Now, let's go back to 2 Chronicles, chapter 32, right? And like I said, we read Sennacherib's blasphemies, and that's the Most High delivers Jerusalem. Verse 20. And for this cause Hezekiah the king and the prophet Isaiah the son of Amoz prayed and cried. So what does it say? Hezekiah and Isaiah prayed and cried to heaven, to Shemaim. And the Lord sent an angel, which had cut off all the mighty men of valor and the leaders and captains in the camp of the king of Assyria. So he returned with shame of face to his own land. And when he has come into the house of his God, that they had come forth to his own Baal, slew him there with the sword. Right? So the mighty men of valor. So since the angel was cut off all the mighty men of valor and the leaders and the captains of the camp of Assyria. So they returned shamefaced back to Assyria. And that's where Sennacherib was killed, assassinated. Verse 22. Thus the Lord saved Hezekiah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem from the hand of Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, and from the hand of all other, and guided them on every side. And many brought gifts unto the Lord to Jerusalem, and presents to Hezekiah, king of Judah, so that he was magnified in the sights of all nations henceforth. What did Isaiah 14:25 said? 14:25 and a couple of verses down, right? This is what let's go get it. 14:25. 26, right? And this is the purpose that is purpose upon the whole earth, that his hand that is stretched upon all the nations. 2 Chronicles 32. And many brought gifts from the Lord to Jerusalem and presents to Hezekiah, king of Judah, so that he was magnified in the sight of all nations from henceforth. All right. Now, last and but not least, we are going to go to 2 Kings, okay, chapter 19, and we're going to read verse 35. We're going to go to verse 35. And it came to pass that night, the angel of the Lord went out and smote the camp of the Assyrians, 145,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt in Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of blank, his god, that Adramelech and Sharezer his son smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia. And Esarhaddon, his son, reigned in his stead. So they killed their father and they went to Armenia, right? Around the Black Sea, present day Georgia, Ukraine, etc. That's where they killed him and went up into that area. That's why Russia had a lot of black icons. There's a lot of quote unquote Russian icons, black people in that area and whatnot, because in the ancient times, the ancients went up to that area. All right, so I hope I was able to bring edification to you and prove to you that these guys do not know what the hell they be talking about. They're pushing the idol up on you, as well as anybody else who pushes the New Testament and says that Micah 5:2 is a prophecy of Christ. That is a lie, and I hope I was able to prove it to you thoroughly using this right here, per the law, Deuteronomy 19:15. Okay, and what does that say? One witness shall not rise up against a man for iniquity, for any sin. In any sin that he sinneth, at the mouth of 2 witnesses or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established. I appreciate you for watching the video and going this far, and I bid you Shayeyi Yisrael, excuse me, Shayeyi Yisrael, Mabarak, Yam Mabarak, Shayeyi Israel, Yam Mabarak. May Israel have a blessed, increased day. Baruch Hashem. Shema Yisrael Hashem Alakanu Hashem Echad. Baruch Hashem Kavak Makdu Le'alam Va'et. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 and 5. Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, body, and soul. Okay? And you shall say these things twice daily when you wake up, when you go to sleep, and when you are by in the way. Until the next video, Israel, Mishpacha, I bid you a shalom. Shalom, shalom.
Though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Israel. Now, book, chapter, verse where Hezekiah was born in Bethlehem.
And so it never says that he was born in Bethlehem, as I showed you guys already in the previous video, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys again, okay? Quick.
Sing unto Yahweh a new song. Sing unto Yahweh, let all the earth call. Bless his name and show forth his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory amongst the heathens and wonder amongst the people. Every morning and evening I give him praise. The false gods are vain by the Most High. The skies was made, nothing new under the sun. Yeah, these times don't change. I guide my steps, direct and devise my ways. Honor and majesty my Yah retain. Beauty is in the sanctuary amongst the saints. Give Yah glory and strength. Search far and wide across the 7 seas for a sign, but never never seen a God alive like Yah, my Elohim.